This is if you have a YouTube channel, I want to put it on there. And then if you really enjoyed the workshop and you say, hey, I really saw something, you guys want to see it, it's on YouTube. Is that cool? So I want to make sure I get permission. And again, we won't see you guys. All right, again, so I think I know everybody in the room, except a couple of you guys, which is great. I'm really happy that you came out here. So thanks for coming out. This is a workshop that I've done, not as a workshop, but as a one-on-one. My daughter here, for a few of her friends, I've done one-on-one to help them. And I'll share this story with Faith here in a few minutes of where she's at, how proud of her that I am, and how I know that she will definitely be financially independent probably by the age 30 at the rate she's going. So that's really exciting stuff. It's never too late to learn financial literacy, and that's why I'm really happy that you guys are here. Okay? So I'm Kevin Jaramillo. This is my wife, Kathy. And again, this is my daughter, Faith. I have 3 other kids, and you'll see them in a picture in a minute. Finntell is something I created about almost 2 years ago. I've been working on it slowly but surely. It's been one of my passions that I've been working on. I really want to accelerate it. Just, life is busy, right? We just have every day that we go and go. But it's a unique story how I came across this. I was at a seminar about 3 years ago. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I've been a business owner for most of my life. And I met a guy by the name of Naveen Ajeen, a billionaire. And at the time, I was like, what is my next entrepreneur venture? And he said something to me that was very profound, that hit me hard, and is really the spark of how Finntell came about. Which he said, this was a giant room, about 1,000 people at this event that were all entrepreneurs trying to take themselves to the next level. And he says, all you guys are entrepreneurs, you want to make more money, and some of you are struggling. He says, I'll tell you the secret. He's a billionaire. He says, I'll tell you the secret of making money. It's really simple. He said, solve a problem. The bigger the problem you can solve, the more money you're going to make. That's simple. Solve a problem. The bigger the problem, the more money you'll make. So that really hit me because I had been thinking about what I put together because of my experiences out on the road doing seminars. I've done over 250 seminar events, working them, and been in rooms of anywhere from 100 people to like almost 500 people, right? And what I found was, no matter the product, that people go to these seminar events, and seminar events happen in any city in the USA every single weekend, teaching and selling all kinds of different products. And the reason that people are there is because they need or want to make more money, right? They're doing whatever they were trained to do for years and years, and they're like, I'm not making enough money, I've got to go make more money. The majority of the events that I've done have been real estate related, teaching real estate, how to flip houses. And so when it hit me and I put 2 and 2 together, I go, these are really nice, hardworking folks in these rooms, right? Average age 50, but don't have no money. And why they don't have no money is because they never figured out how to play the financial game when you were younger. That's why I'm really happy that my daughter here has been taking, everything that I teach her and put it into work. So that's why I'm here today. So today's about financial literacy basics. I'm not here today, I'm not going to give you any financial advice because I am not a financial planner. I'm not licensed to do that, so I'm not going to do that. Okay? Again, I was in rooms like this, just big, massive rooms, people up there speaking, trying to sell their products, because all these people just want to make more money. How do I make more money, right? Problem is, in any given one of those rooms, less than 10% of people in that room can afford to buy whatever products for sale. Which is unfortunate, right? So here's just a couple of statistics. Financial literacy. Students between the ages of 15 and 21 report that they feel unprepared to face a complex world in the 21st century. Who agrees with that? Right at that age, you're scared. You're like, I've got to go get a job now. What do I do with my money? Or a lot of them just go out there and just spend their money, right? The majorities of educators were not given a financial education course and feel unprepared to teach the subject. Many lack the confidence to teach it to their students. So although you got educators out there trying to teach us, as we all know in high school, did they teach us anything financial literacy? I have a theory on that, but I won't get into that. The majority of college students say they pick up most of their personal financial education from their parents, but less than half of the students said their parents make a consistent, conscientious effort to teach them. About 70% of college students say their parents are their main source of information. How many of you have learned the majority of what you know financially through your parents? Aunts, uncles, that kind of thing, right? What I was saying, parents can't teach what parents don't know, right? So if your parents never really highly educated themselves about making money and having money, how could they teach you? It's not that it's right or wrong, it's just what it is. Does that make sense? So let me ask you, how confident would you feel about your financial future without a financial education? Right? You'd be like, oh man, crap. Scared. You'd be scared, as you should be scared, right? So, who's this for? This course like this? People who want to ensure their financial future. Like, my daughter here's 20. How old are you?
30.
30. So you guys are, a little bit older, like, man, why am I not financially further along? I'm a good, nice person. I work real hard. I think I make decent money. Why aren't I in a better financial position? It's real simple. It's just lack of knowledge, right? So I think of financial education as a game. It's a game that the day that you go to work, at whatever age, 15, 16, 20, however old you are thrusted into the financial game. But like any game, whether it be chess, Monopoly, or anything, if you don't know the rules of the game, can you win? You can't win. And so since we're automatically thrusted into getting jobs, making money, figuring out our lives, doing all this stuff, but no one ever taught us, how can we win? Now the great part about it is, it's all out there, so we have to really be proactive to learn all of this material. That's why I really applaud you today to be here to hear the fundamentals. It's just the rules of the game. How you're going to play the game is totally up to you, right? But at least I hope that by the end of this workshop here that you guys leave here going, man, I'm going to make some changes, I'm going to do a couple of whatevers, and know that in the future your financial situation will change for the better. Okay? So there's 3 things that we need to strive for as we are trying to get in our best financial position, right? People like Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey. You've heard of those people? They're financial advisors. You know who Tony Robbins is, right? He'll definitely speak. Robert Kiyosaki, right? These are all people that'll talk to you about their finances on what to do. Now, depending where you are in life, whether you are a W-2 earner, right? If you just have a job, I highly recommend listening to Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman. They will definitely steer you in the right way. If you're more of an entrepreneur type person, they're not talking to you. What they teach is the opposite of what an entrepreneur does and should do. So you really got to decide, whatever you're doing in life, who you really want to listen to. Because if you take the wrong advice, you're going to go down the wrong side of the road, right? So, but they're all great in what they do. It just depends what you're going to do, okay? So there's 3 different, like I said, there's 3 different things that we should strive for. And the first one is to be financially secure, okay? Now, Susie Orman calls this your emergency fund. To be financially secure means the amount of money needed to pay your living expenses for 6 months. Because picture and imagine when you have that, whatever that number is, I did an example here. If you have a $2,000 a month, your expenses, you need to have $12,000 set in an account somewhere else. God forbid you get sick, hurt, you can't work anymore for the short term. Maybe you lost your job and you transition. Our bills don't stop because we lose our job or we get hurt or something, right? Those bills just keep coming. So to get financially secure means it's okay if my paycheck's Friday and I can't get it till Monday. I'm going to be just fine. Where how many people out there, like, they're counting the hours down to get that paycheck to pay the power bill or something. You know what I mean? It's one of the things with Faith that I shared with her when she was around 16. I says, I never want you to experience the feeling of being broke. It's the worst feeling in the world, to have that feeling of broke, like I can't pay the light bill or my cell phone bill or whatever that bill may be, that hurts, that I can't, one more day is payday and I can pay that thing, right? So you want to get yourself here first. However long that takes, put that money aside. Usually a money market account would be best because it's easily accessible and it'll pay you more return than just a regular checking or savings account, okay? So the next one you want to strive to get to is financial independence. Now this one may take a little longer. For some people, yes. For some people, no. This is when your money makes enough money to support your lifestyle. So on that example of $2,000 a month, if your lifestyle is $2,000 a month, all your bills, that means I have to have enough money working, giving me a return of $2,000. You are then officially financially independent. And a lot of people they may feel rich at this point. Like, I don't have to work. My money makes enough money to pay my lifestyle. I'm happy. Depends what that number is. And there is no wrong or right answer for that number. You know, some people are happy to live on $2,000 a month. There's people out there that say, hey, I need $20K a month. My lifestyle is $20K, it's what it is. I've got to go make the money and make enough money to make that. So this one here is definitely achievable within I would call a relatively short period of time, say 5 years. You can get there, and we'll talk about that. And the third one is, the ultimate goal is to be financial freedom. Financially free. We've heard that term, right? Financially free. This is when you have enough money to do or go anywhere, anytime with anyone to do anything. You don't think of money as people who don't have it think of it. I've got to save to get the car. Can I afford the car? Can I go on this vacation? Can I afford to go on that vacation? Can I take my whole family? Can I only afford to take 2? You know what I mean? When you get to this point, you don't even ask yourself how much is it. You just go, I'm taking the family to Spain for 3 weeks. It's probably going to cost you $75,000, but hey, I got plenty of money and it's no big deal. This one here is definitely in the category of you probably need $5+ million to consider yourself financially free. Because you don't want to spend 5 or 10% of whatever you have on any kind of an extravagant type of vacation, right? So this one here is a little tougher to achieve, but it's achievable, right? So real quick, I have to put a disclaimer up here. The information provided here is for informational purposes only. It should not be considered legal or financial advice. You should consult an attorney, accountant, or licensed professional financial advisor to determine what may be the best for your individual needs. Okay? Like I said earlier, I'm going to show you, and I have some resources here, how to play the game, the rules of the game, so you can win. So who am I? Cameron Jaramillo. I'm a Las Vegas native. I've been married 20 years. I got 4 amazing kids, 3 grandkids. I've been a business owner for over 30 years. I made a lot of money in my career. I've made a lot of mistakes. That's okay. My passion is golf. Ask me anything about golf and I'll tell you. I listen to all types of music, but really jazz is my favorite. Okay? Just depends what I'm doing. This is my lovely family. All sitting here. We took this photo. This one's how old is this photo, babe?
I was like 16 at that. So I was like,
You were 16 here?
I think so, yeah.
That's almost 4 years old. Oh,
Yeah.
man. We need a new photo. So here's the topics I want to talk to you guys about. And today I'm really going to hit surface on each one of these. I'm currently putting together a program that will be in depth on every one of these, and it'll be posted on my YouTube channel. Okay, so we can get deeper. You guys, if you have questions as I go through this, I'll be happy to answer any questions as we go through, or you can ask me at the end. Is that fine? All right, so we're going to talk about mindset, goals, tradition, money, the rule of 72, credit, savings, investing, taxes, retirement, work ethic, and last but not least, lifestyle. Okay? So, mindset. Why do you think I want to talk about mindset?
You have to change your way of thinking.
You need to learn how to think and act different with your time and your money if you want to achieve, say, financial independence or freedom. Because I know you all can reach or are at financial security, right? Where you don't have to worry, hey, I'm leaving, I won't get my check till I get back, not a big deal, right? But we have to talk about mindset because there's 2. There's a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. Generally speaking, these mindsets come from our families, how we were raised. You know what I mean? So just a couple of differences here. Fixed mindset, someone would say success comes from talent. That's a fixed mindset, right? If you have a growth mindset, you say, hey, success comes from effort, right? And I'm sure you all can think right now somebody in your lives that you're like, oh, I know a total fixed mindset person, right? Or I know a total growth mindset. So it says, I'm either smart or dumb. The other one, I can grow my intelligence. I don't like challenges, right? Stay the status quo. I embrace challenges as a chance to grow. We're always growing, we're always learning, right? Failure means I can't do it. Fixed mindset. That's a really big one for a lot of people. If you have a growth mindset, failure means I'm learning. There is absolutely nothing wrong with failing. Matter of fact, failing is winning. You fail at something, you have to learn from it. If you don't learn from it, then that's a real failure. So just learn from whatever failures. We all have them, you're gonna have them your whole life. It's something that we should embrace. Feedback is a personal attack, right? How many times have you given somebody some feedback on something and they're like, hey, back off, why are you being so hard on me? Well, someone else will say, hey, thanks for the feedback. I didn't know that. That's really gonna help me on the next thing I'm doing or whatever, right? If you succeed, I feel threatened. That's being selfish, right? If you succeed, I'm inspired. How many of us are, what type of people inspire us? Give me an example.
People that are successful and people who have a positive mindset and
So like
display
who?
energy.
Okay, so like, do athletes inspire us?
To a certain degree, yes.
Athletes can inspire us. Do, musicians, rock stars, those kinds of people, I mean, even political people can inspire you, right? So whoever can inspire you. Sometimes we just need to be inspired. And that's how you want to feel once you see someone else's success, right? You shouldn't say, I hate that Tom Cruise, he's too darn successful, right? No, you should be inspired that he did that. If something's too hard, I give up, right? While a growth mindset says, I keep trying even when I'm frustrated. So again, really making sure that you have the right mindset to grow personally will help you grow financially. To understand that it's all possible and there will be bumps on the way. So now that you can see how important mindset is, right? How do you think that would make you feel? Hey, super happy. We're gonna be super happy about that. So the mindset is really the foundation of all of the other 11 that I'm gonna talk about. I look at it as like a foundation to a house. If you have a weak foundation on the house, could the house fall down a lot easier?
Right.
For sure. So it's really important. So let's talk about goals. I gave you each a sheet there to see if you guys are setting goals. How many here actually set goals? Good. The more the better, the more regular, So it's all about set a goal, make a plan, get to work, stick to it, reach that goal, and achieve happiness. Tony Robbins, which we all know, has some great quotes. He says, setting goals, sorry for a little blurry here. Setting goals is the first step into turning the invisible to visible, right? If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. Begin to live as though your prayers are already answered. I call that asking the universe. I ask the universe for stuff all the time. I tell my kids, ask the universe, it'll come to you, right? The path to success is to take massive, determined action. I think this is why most people don't have success, is they just don't go out there and take massive action, right? It definitely takes massive action to get out there and have it. Now, Harvard did a study back in 1979. MBA graduating class asked if they had clear written goals, right? 3% of them said yes, they had clear written goals. 13% said yes, but they weren't written down. So they had goals, but they didn't write them down. And 84% said neither one. They didn't have goals and they written down. This is the graduating class. So 10 years later, they go back and they survey them again. 13% earning twice as much as the 84%. Twice as much. That's huge. The 3% are earning 10 times as much as the other 94%. 10 times. So 10 years later, you figure if you graduated from Harvard, you're probably doing something pretty decent, and you're probably making, who knows, 80 to 150 grand. And those are the people who said they didn't do anything. The people who did, look how much further along they get. Goals to me are like a roadmap, right? If we want to right now get in your car and drive to New York City, you're going to do one of two things. You hope you either have an old school map or you got a car that has GPS. Because if you took off, you know you're going to go east, you would get there at some point in time, I'm sure. You'd find your way, but it's going to take you a hell of a lot longer than if you had GPS or a map. That's what goals are, okay? You guys know who Grant Cardone is?
Yes.
Yes. Grant Cardone says, hey, you should have goals so big that your problems pale in comparison. Big goals. The saying, shoot for the stars, land on the moon. Right? So make sure your goals are big as you can get them. So again, goals, just a pathway to show you how to get where you're going to go. Or I like to call it, it's like driving the car blindfolded. God knows nobody would do that, I hope, right? You want to know where you're going at all times. So that's goals. The next one is tradition and change. So we talked a little bit a minute ago about tradition, and where does tradition generally come from?
Our parents.
Family, right? Mom, dad, brother, sister, aunts, uncles, heck, neighbors, you could follow tradition, right? And tradition can be good, can be bad. It just depends, right? And in tradition, we could celebrate holidays differently. That's a tradition. Your cultural heritage is different. The way we celebrate things could be just totally different. Everything is just different about tradition. What you have to recognize when we're doing financial literacy is, we talked earlier, parents can't teach what parents don't know. And so tradition, parents are going to teach you what they know. And they can't teach you any more than they know. So that's why, again, you have to be proactive in what it is that you're doing and where else can I go learn. Mom and dad took me so far, I need to go further. Does that make sense? So be careful of the traditions that you follow, because us four back here, we're about almost the same age, which means our parents and our grandparents grew up, especially our grandparents I know did, in the Great Depression era, right? And so they grew up with a mindset of scarcity, right? Because that was a horrible time in this country, which means hold on to everything tight. Don't let go, no risk, very debt adverse, just really super be careful, right? This is 2019. You can't think like that no more. If you want to get financially ahead, you have to change that mindset. And you got to understand, it's nothing disrespectful to change that tradition. I've got to do what's right for me and my family at this point in time. Does that make sense? So let's talk about a little bit about money. Because money ultimately is the whole reason why you're here. How can I make more? How can I make my money make more money? How do I put myself in a better position, right? And it's funny, I was looking at the history of money. And money's just a barter system, right? I mean, 3,000 years ago, there wasn't no cash. Everybody was bartered, right? I'll give you 3 donkeys for a cow kind of thing, right? I'll give you 2 bushels. They just traded. It was just barter. And then they started making coin money, all the way to where we are today. This is our money that we have now is called fiat money. It's not backed by anything. It's backed by a promise. Nixon's the one who stopped the gold standard. I mean, that dollar bill used to be backed by gold, but that hasn't been in a long time. So they call it fiat money, fugazi money. It's worthless piece of paper. It's just a promissory note. So understanding that money is just a tool to get what you want to get. But it's a tool that can be leveraged, and leveraging is the key. Leveraging is the key. Because out there in today's world, as all you guys have jobs, I usually just say jobs, because I don't like the word jobs, because I haven't had a job in a long time. Going out there and not trading time for money. Learn how to trade value for money. Time for money will never get you wealthy. You'll be lucky to get financially independent trading time for money. Definitely not going to get financial freedom by it. So learning how to give value is what I teach my kids. The more value you give, the more they're going to pay you, right? And so that's where we are with money. Now, a guy like Robert Kiyosaki here, who wrote this awesome book, how many people have read this book? You read that book?
Yeah.
It's a great book. A lot of great lessons in this book. This thing was the #1 seller, and it's been the #1 seller for years. It's really a great book. I highly recommend it. Really great guy. What Robert, he says here, is financial freedom is a mental, emotional, and an educational process. So when you use that last word, process, what does that mean? Like, it's always ongoing. We're always going to learn. Because we always have to keep our eyes and ears open for opportunities, right? Opportunity will come knocking, and you're like, am I ready for that opportunity? And if you're not, like, Like Mark Zuckerberg, did he take advantage of opportunity when he was at Harvard? I don't know if we've all, I mean, I've seen the movie, I don't know if you've seen the movie. Some might argue, yeah, he saw opportunity, all right, he stole opportunity, right? That's the whole story back there. But the thing was, he's a very intelligent person, and he took opportunity. He saw what somebody was building, he said, I could do that, I could do it better. And that's what he did. He became a billionaire at 25 or 6 years old, pretty young, right? So Robert Kiyosaki is also known for something that he created that he calls the cash flow quadrant. Has anybody ever seen this? You've seen the cash flow quadrant?
Yeah.
He breaks it down of income. 4 ways to produce income, okay? Linear income versus leveraged and residual income. So most people, 95% of people are employees. You have a JOB. You are trading time for money. That's only gonna get you so far. So then some people decide, you know what? I wanna be my own boss. I'm gonna go get self-employed. I'm gonna start a company. And now you have what he calls, you own a job. You work a lot more hours for just a little bit more money and a lot more responsibility. But you have no leverage. 95% of the population does. You're still trading time for money. You're still trading time for money. Over here, the business owner is, if you want to start a business, that should be your goal, to get to be an actual business owner. Meaning, you own a system and you leverage. An example of a business owner that has systems and leverage people would be like, how would you like to own a McDonald's? Right? If you were able to go out and purchase a McDonald's today for round numbers $1 million, do you have to be the person making the burgers, the fries, and the register? No. You've got systems in place, and the reason you pay $1 million for a McDonald's franchise is because they've already done all the homework for you, right? And so all you have to do is find a good location, right? And then have a business that's paying you while you're not even there. So big companies, corporate companies like McDonald's and all the big ones out there, they're leveraging people to make money, right? This is where 95% of the wealth is created, by people who have that. IBM, Nike, all the big companies that we know, all have systems that leverage people to make money. And the last one finally is the investor, right? The investor, he leverages, only 5% of the population are investors. They trade money for money. So we put our money to work. Because if you're in any one of these other quadrants, it's 24 hours in a day. How many hours do you want to work? The least amount as you can. But money's great because money works 24/7, 365. Warren Buffett says, until you learn how to make money when you sleep, you will never become wealthy. Make money while you sleep. Wake up the next day like, I made $5 grand last night, sleeping. How'd that make you feel? Pretty good, right? So understanding these quadrants and where you're at and maybe where you want to go. Can you get wealthy by having a job and investing? 100%, right? Just depends what you do with that money, how much you're making, right? You have to put it to work. Investing is the only way that's going to reach your financial goals. You must invest at some level. And we'll talk about some of those levels in a minute. Okay? Any questions about the quadrant? Nope. So, on your sheet there, I wrote down, what's the question? Do you know or understand the rule of 72? Nope. You know what, Harv?
Yeah.
Nope. You got it? What is it?
It's how long, length of time that it takes for your investment to double based upon your current rate of interest.
Yeah. Basically, it's the compound interest rule, right? Because when we invest our money, it's all about the ROI, the rate of return. What are we getting back? For every dollar I plug into something, I want to get at least 3 back or more. So it's vitally important to understand the rule of 72, okay? So he's right. You divide 72 into the interest you're getting. That'll tell you how long it takes to double. Now, with our money, we're either paying interest or we're earning interest. Who are we paying interest to? Give me an example. Exactly. Tell me, what do you believe is the average interest rate on a credit card?
27, 23.
They're in their twenties, they're high in their twenties. But you can get zero, introductory offer, zero for, 12 months, 18, I've seen them as long as 18 months. They're trying to get you hooked in, and then hope you don't pay, and then the rates go up. But, they'll usually start at about 15. If you can get down to 10 or below, it's because you have really good credit, is why you'll get those single-digit rate of return. So if a credit card company is charging, say, 24% interest, how fast are they doubling their money based on the rule of 72? Now let me ask you a question. If you have a bank account right now, a savings account, any bank, USA, I don't care what bank, what are they paying you on your money?
0.25%.
0.25%. You're absolutely right. A quarter. Some people say 1%. I go, I wish it was 1%. 0.25%. If you divide 0.25% into 72, you know what you get? 285 years. Clearly, nobody lives 285, so 0.25% is not doing you any good whatsoever, right? To double your money. So if you put 10 grand in the bank, it's never going to go to 20, ever. Not in your lifetime. It's just not going to happen. So here's some examples of the rate of returns that we want to shoot and look for, right? And the value of time, okay? Sometimes you'll hear this rule of 72 called the banker's rule, okay? So this represents years right here, 0 to 48 years. If you had 10,000 bucks, you stuck in the bank and you were making 3% on your money, 3%, it would take you 24 years to get to 20 grand. It would take you 48 years to get to 40,000. Too long. We'll skip the 10, we'll jump right to the 12%. Is it feasible to get 12% on your money? Absolutely. It's feasible to make 25, 35, 50% on your money. You don't know how yet. So let's just say, hey, I'm making 12% of my money. I stuck $10,000 in the bank, and every year it compounded. At the end of 48 years, I would have $2.5 million. What's the average working lifespan of an American? It's about 48 years, right? I'll start working at 16, 18, somewhere in there, right? So if you learn how to actually make 12%, that's your nest egg at the end. Not dependent on anybody else. Not having to go out there and trade time for money to make that. Okay? Pretty powerful stuff. The thing with the rule of 72 is understanding the time value of money. This is where I got Faith started, what do you know, about 18 months in? She's about 18 months in on her Roth IRA. Roth IRA that has a value. Do you mind if I share that? If I share it? She's sitting on a little over 10,000 bucks in her Roth IRA. She just turned 22 weeks ago. Because I shared her on this timetable here, if you start early enough, and this example shows it from age 22 to 28, okay? 7 years, if you maxed out, and actually this chart is a couple of years old because now you can go 6,000 a year. If you maxed out